Hello, this is Logic Dolphin here with the repeat of Sharp Fangs versus France 1. This is the same setup, same board, as well as the same ordering of cards as in the previous game. Not that you can tell at the moment, but you will see as we play through. This time we are following with the ordering of actions as presented by Twitsan. They provided me with their play-by-play in what they did and how they won. And we will follow through and see what they did and how it differed from my gameplay experience. And this will be rather interesting. So, they also mention quick overview of the adversary and the spirit. So France has the loss limit of 7 towns. If there's 7 towns, the invaders win if you can't ever place a town after the 7th one. And on stage 2, their escalation, they add a town or blight. They add a town to a land with no buildings, or a blight to a land with buildings, but only for one of them. And with France level 1, after invaders successfully explore into a land which had no buildings, you add an additional explorer. So there will usually be a second explorer in many lands, thereby preventing builds. Fangs overview, our special ability lets us convert a presence to a beast token, which can be useful, comboing with the event card, which does things based on beasts, or even with our innate powers, damaging per beast with ranging hunt, or targeting a land with beasts for frenzied assault, or even with our powers here, Teeth Gleam gives us fear if there are beasts and invaders in the land. Terrifying Chase, we push additional guys per beasts in the land. And Prey on the Builders, if the target land has beasts, invaders do not build. So the idea is Ranging Hunt can destroy explorers or the occasional town. Frenzied Assault can be used to pick off towns that get built. So set up presence. They place a presence in land 1. That way we're spread out. And then they explore mountains. Turn 1 growth. Twitsan wants to stop the build in land 1, so he wants to play Prey on the Builders. He wants to set up to stop the Ravage next turn, so he's going to use Terrifying Chase. Both of those cards require 1 energy, so it's a total of 2. To do that, he needs 2 energy, so he picks growth option 4. Actually, if he picked growth option 3, he would have enough energy to do that, but he takes growth option 4, which is fine. Extra energy. Still has another option, so he's going to want to add presence as fast as he can, so use their second growth option, taking off from the top track to unlock the free animal. So turn 1, fast phase. Sorry, he plays these cards. Fast phase, we use Prey on the Builders in land 1. Land 1, sorry. Stops the build. And Ranging Hunt, which doesn't deal damage but pulls a beast token and a presence into land 6. It's not 100% clear which presence he takes here, but he later says to pull things out of land 1. So I'm just going to pull out of 8. And there are a couple of things that are not 100% clear, but I think I figured out what he had meant. As of recording this video, he hasn't gotten back to me, which is fine. I just did my practice run, sent him the message, and started recording. How dare he not respond in 2 minutes, right? All right, so I did end up winning the game with not much issue, based on what he said, of course. So anyway, slow phase. Terrifying Chase in land 3 to stop the build. I think the original intention was to use it in A6, but we're going to stop the build in A3 instead. Push explorers into A2 to keep them together. Also gets us 2 fear because we pushed an invader this way. Turn 2 growth. So this time we have the energy and card plays to trigger Ranging Hunt in land 6. if we pull the beast out of land 1. So all the growth options are available. In that case, they will add a presence using growth option 2, because adding more presence is always good, and I especially agree. Put the presence in land 8, pull from the bottom track in case we get a good card, or good cards, to do 3 cards next turn. Gain an energy and a card using growth option 3, going with a minor power as we don't have the energy to play most majors yet, and I agree. So we take these cards: Call to Tend, Twilight Fog, Steam Vents, and Animated Rackroot. Call to Tend is great for our first innate, gives us the plant and the animal, but we have plenty of plant and animal this turn. So we will take Animated Rackroot for the Fire Moon, and we can be creative in our pushes to set up either option from that card. I'm actually doing a lot of reading off of the notes that Twitsan provided, compared with the other people I've made videos for. It's pretty nice. Lots more informative than the others. Not that I couldn't figure out what they were doing, but I get to just read instead of making stuff up. We will play the other 2 base cards, not Animated Rackroot, but it will set up Ranging Hunt. So the fast phase of turn 2, we use Ranging Hunt to pull a beast from land 1 into land 6, pulling the presence with it, destroy the town, and then we push both beasts and both presents into land 8. Okay. I was a little confused because I thought I had to click the land, but actually I just wanted me to click the presence twice because there's no choice on the land. Alright, the event card. Tight-knit communities. Buildings have extra health. Beasts destroy explorers. And add a DAHAN to a coastal land with DAHAN. They add it to land 2 to bolster its numbers. So if you paid attention to my game, you'll notice that there's actually a deviation here where they let the build in A8 happen. I prevented it. They let it happen, so now there's the inner city. And now we have a Sands Explorer. And it did explore A7 this time. So, to lower... Twitsan says to lower the defense, we would need to hope for a good fair card, so I remove an Explorer from land 4. Not 100% sure what the defense is. Maybe fear cards can remove the explorers. I'm not sure what lowering the defense means. I guess the thing is we don't have defense. We don't have any defend cards right now. So we don't know what we need for A8. So we either rely on a fear card to generate defend in lands with presence, or remove a town from an inner land or something to help with A8. I think that's what they mean. Right, so we use 2 Near the Jungle, which gives us fear, and we remove an explorer, and they do it in A4. And to push towards the next fear card, we already have 1, but we need 4 more fear to get to the next. So they use Teeth Gleam for the fear. They use it in A8, but they use it for the fear. And 3 fear in a single player game is really nice because that's 75% of a fear card that we just generated, versus a 2-player game where it's 37.5%. Or a 3-player game where it's 25%. And other numbers for 4. What is half of 37.5? That is 16.875%. Very good to be very precise with your percentages, right? Alright. Turn 3 growth. We need cards, and we are looking for defense. Let's take growth option 1. And presumably if we don't get something we're looking for, we could then do growth option 3 for a second chance. But we do need defend. We don't have any defend cards in our hand right now. And we don't have energy. We only have 3 energy, especially because we took the reclaim route. So we're going to take a minor power here. And we are very excited to see Drift Down, because Drift Down says defend 4, which is perfect for A8. So they take Drift Down. It does provide range 2. They say presence can be moved with Ranging Hunt, but actually range 2 is currently seeing everything on the land. So yeah. Another thing that isn't actually mentioned here, I believe they have to just convert a presence to a beast in A8. I think they do it here to kill the city. They mention killing the city later, but they don't mention presence conversion. It's not actually that bad. I mean, if I do comments on these things, I'm just stating this in case I did play this game inaccurately. I'm fairly sure that they did that for the city destruction, but most of this explanation is really solid. Just a couple of things that got omitted, but honestly, that's expected when you write detailed notes like this, that you're going to miss something. Anyway, where are we? So we also place presents. We place presents to land 3. So now we can play 3 cards. We have good cards. We place it in land 3 on the bottom track. Not sure if I was supposed to, like I said earlier, I'm not sure the first presence. I placed it in land 3. I'm not 100% sure if that's where they went. I don't know if they did anything. Well, I think they did do something at A4. But they didn't convert presence yet, so it's a sacred site, I suppose. We need to trigger a ranging hunt, so we need a total of 2 plants and 2 animals. And they choose go with prey for an animal, teeth gleam for a plant and an animal, and drift down for a plant. So that gives us exactly the right number of elements for ranging hunt. The defend for land 8, and we can stop the build in A7. So fast phase. Use ranging hunt to kill the city in A8. We push a beasts into 5. And 1 into 7 along with a presence. We keep the presence in A8 for teeth gleam. We use drift down in A8. Prey on the builders in A7 without gathering. Alright. Event card. We have sacred sites under threat, but we have no sacred sites. We don't have any sacred sites. Sorry, we don't have any sacred sites with invaders. We actually do have a sacred site. We have one in A3. But it does say sacred sites with invaders, so we don't actually need to worry here. We will guard, but skip. The other option would not do anything either, but it would remove a blight from the blight card, which we don't want to have happen. Better to have nothing happen than a detrimental effect happen. The other parts say beasts generate fear if invaders are present, move to adjacent lands if not, and spirits with 4 DAHAN amongst the lands gain a minor power, and we do actually have that, so we're gaining a minor power this turn, which is nice. So the only beast that's moving is beast 5, and they move them into land 4, and the rest are fear. The free minor power: nature's resilience, cycles of time and tide, sap the strength of multitudes, and fire in the sky. And they opt to take fire in the sky so that the city in A2 can be strifed. It is range 1 from a sacred site right now, so it does line up with that. So that's their choice. So we now have 2 fear cards, and we're also 1 away from a 3rd one. We have DAHAN ENHEARTED. You push a DAHAN from a land with invaders, or gather a DAHAN into a land with invaders. And they gather the DAHAN from 6 into 8, which makes sense. It will kill the town in the ravage. It's defended, so all is good. Second fear card removes a town explorer from a land with beasts, and they remove it from land 4, which stops the build. Pretty nice. Nice fear cards. So the ravage kills the town and gives us the fear. It's unfortunate that we were 1 fear away from Terror level 2, and those fear cards we had could have been on Terror level 2 instead. I don't actually know what their effects were on Terror level 2. Choose a different land. In different lands, in chosen lands, gather up to 2 DAHAN and 1 damage if DAHAN are present. And then Too many monsters has the same effect, but we could also remove an explorer from a land adjacent to beasts instead. So I think it wouldn't have really changed anything, because we still wanted the Dahan in A8, and the damage wouldn't have mattered. And we probably still would have stopped the build in A4, which is fine. Alright, so they explored the sands, so it's a double whammy of build and explore. Except they didn't build, so it's fine. And this is the escalation effect of France, so they add a town to a land without buildings or a blight to a land with buildings. Neither of these have buildings this time, but Twitsan opts to put the town in A7 since it has Dahan. And now turn 3 slow phase, Teeth Gleam in land 7 for 3 fear. Now we're in turn 4. So we take growth option 3 for power and energy, and we go for a minor like last time. We have promises of protection, prowling panthers, gift of power, and teeming rivers. None of these are helpful right now. So he takes prowling panthers for the elements. Prowling panthers is a really good card for Sharp Fangs in any case, but yeah, it doesn't immediately help with the Sands Ravage and the Sands build, which is, I mean, once we deal with the Sands Ravage, the build is also dealt with in turn if we can stop both, I suppose. I guess we can't really kill A4, or do we? I've been doing a lot of these videos today, I don't even remember what we do at this point. Growth option 2 to add a presence from the bottom track to land 7. So now we have a reclaim 1. And we reclaim drift down into slumber, which gives us defend, which is good. Stops A7 and takes out everything. But we also convert a presence in A7 to a beasts. It looks like we're not going to defend that land. We're actually going to defend A4, and we're going to use Ranging Hunt in A7. We play drift down into slumber, too near the jungle, and terrifying chase. And that gives us 2 plants, 2 animals, and that's exactly the right number to hit Ranging Hunt. The fast phase, Ranging Hunt in A7. Pull the beasts in the presence out of A8. Kills the town and the explorer. And we push a beasts and a presence into both of the adjacent lands. And drift down goes into A4. No other place for it other than potentially A7, but A4 has blight and is currently blighting and cascading, so it's a good place to defend. We have farmers seek the Dahan for aid. So 2 damage to Dahan, a land with buildings and Dahan, which would only be A2. Add I almost said disease and then I almost said strife. Add blight to a land with at least 2 buildings, which is, there's none of those. And buildings have -1 health until the end of the turn. Versus teach the invaders, add a town to a land with Dahan, and the next normal ravage becomes a build. Both of the ravages are locked right now, so they're fine. So we're going to spurn the invaders. And now we're on the part for new diseases, and we're going to put the disease in land 7. Alright, so the fear cards. Belief takes root. We have defend 2 plus energy per sacred sites with invaders. Didn't really do much. And depart the dangerous land. You can remove an explorer town from a land with beasts, disease, or at least 2 Dahan. And we opt to remove an explorer from land 4 since they're still building in there. So better to remove some of what's there still. And then they explore, and they only explore into A3, but we still have the escalation. And we're going to escalate into A3. So we still have Terrifying Chase. And we will use Terrifying Chase on A3. shoves a town and an explorer into A2. You can also use 2 near the jungle in land 3 to kill the last thing. Stops the build outright. Turn 5 growth. So where are we right now? We are Terror level 3. We are 5 fear away from Terror level... Sorry, we're at Terror level 2. We're 5 fear away from Terror level 3. So if we kill the city in A2 and generate 5 more fear, well, 3 additional after we kill the city, then we will win the game. So we're looking for a major power that can deal with the city in A2. They take growth option 1, gain a major, and we see land thrashes, sea monsters, cleansing floods, and jungle hungers. And Twitsan takes jungle hungers, and they lose fire in the sky. We don't need the strife on the city if we just kill the city. And since we took a major, and we want to consider playing it, we will gain 3 energy this turn. Want to play jungle hungers, but we also want to trigger the threshold on jungle hungers to destroy the city. So we also play Teeth Gleam. And we don't have enough plants, so we gotta play another plant card. We play Drift Down. Now we have the threshold on jungle hungers. Fast phase of turn 5. We do Drift Down in land 4. Conveniently, we still need to defend that, so it's nice that we have a defend card with our elements. Ranging Hunt in land 5. Pulls the beasts out of 8. Push up beasts. Also pulls the presence out of 8. We also get into 4 and 1. And presence in both of those. Alright, event card. Invaders search inland, so on a coastal land, push a town inland. So we do have this town in A2 that's being pushed, and we opt to put them into land 4. We do have enough defend for that, so it's okay. Destroy 2 explorers with a damage from Grim Toll in land 2. So Grim Toll on each board, choose a land with a disease, and that land to do 2 damage to invaders and 2 damage to DAHAN. The city's dying to jungle hungers, so we will build 2 explorers. Although also the explorers die anyway, so it doesn't really matter. The damage doesn't matter there. The build in the jungle is prevented, and now they explore. They'll explore mountains, only A1. And with the escalation, we can just escalate into A1. Alright, so still 5 fear away from Terror level 3. We will kill the city and explore in A2, so that gives us 2 fear. And Teeth Gleam. I think it would have... Oh, right. So we can't actually... Oh, right, sorry. I did this in the wrong order. I was thinking I could do this in A1 instead. I have the instructions here, and I'm already thinking, how can I play this differently? So it is the order that is important. We do it in A2. There is no beasts in A2, so our only option is to add a beasts. And the only land from range 1 from a jungle would be A2. We're not in A8, but there's also no invaders in those lands. So nice, because it would have been nice to have had the 3 fear, so we kind of have to make up the difference. Which is annoying. Alright, so turn 6, growth. 2 fear away from winning, as long as A1 does not build, because if they build a city, and then we don't win because there's a city on the board. So we look for a card that generates fear. All our stuff is slow except for Drift Down and Prey, but none of those generate fear. So our goal is to search for a card that gives fear, and we choose to take growth option 3 and take a minor. And none of these generate fear. So we take Devouring Ants. Ultimately, it does not matter what we take, because we don't play it. Growth option 4 for energy. We reclaim Jungle Hungers. So don't get the fear fast, but as long as we prevent the build, then it's fine. So we play Jungle Hungers, Prey on the Builders, and 2 near the jungle. So we do get a fear off 2 near the jungle. Prey on the Builders prevents the city build. We're already in A1. Jungle Hungers, just in A4 will give us the 2 fear that we need. So it's basically just get to the slow phase and win right now. And I think this is where, yeah, there was something that wasn't noted. They convert a presence in A1 to beasts. Which I'm not 100% sure. The notes here say gather a beast and a presence from land 4. Kill all the explorers. They leave the town in there, and I'm not 100% sure why. My best guess is that in case there's an event that says push explorers from the land with the most invaders or something, just to stop them from putting an explorer in A6. That's my best guess. But it does just say here destroy all the explorers to keep anything cheeky from happening with the event. Move 2 beasts in both presence into land 6. I only have 1 presence. So there's something different here. Oh! Wait. Oh, right, they gather... Wait. Oh, okay. Never mind. I'm just dumb. They don't convert the presence. But they still gather this beast? Right, sorry, this was the one I was confused about, was... They gathered... sorry, I'm confusing myself here, but it's late. So they gather a beast, I think it was the A2 beasts, but they also gather off a ranging hunt, and this one specifies a presence. So it was from A4, they kill the explorers, and then they move 2 beasts in both presence into A6. There we go. Doesn't really matter in terms of the victory, but just to try to keep the game as close as possible to what Twitsan did. The event actually added a beast into A1. There's other stuff that happened. Move Explorer Town from an inland land. We actually want to keep the towns here because we want to destroy them with Jungle Hungers. So we're going to just remove the Explorer. And the build is prevented. And they explore wetlands. And actually the event card does say, when exploring once per board, place a town instead of an explorer. So, we add the town to land 6 off the explorer. And we add the town off the escalation into A5. But it doesn't really matter, because we win off of Jungle Hungers. There are no cities on the island. Whew. So that was Twitsan's game. They won with 38 points, 4 surviving DAHAN, 1 blight on the island. In fact, there was no blight added ever. All the ravages were blocked, so that's pretty nice. And 5 cards left in the invader deck. So there you go.